Hey, Deacon candidates, just a few things I want to communicate to you regarding the Deacon development process, a few very important things. And so here they are. First up, the deadline for assignments. Today is the deadline for submitting your assignments for the Deacon development process. And so please be sure to send those to Natalie as she'll be organizing all that information as the 15 of you submit all of that. For more information about that, as well as just a list of those assignments, there's a link down below titled Reminder and Submitting Assignments. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the list of those and all those instructions. Secondly, the doctrinal statement. Also attached at the bottom of this post is our new doctrinal statement that we're moving towards. And so I spoke about this on the second Deacon Development Night, but essentially this is a move that keeps us aligned with Acts 29 from a doctrinal oversight and accountability perspective. And so as a church, it's very important that we remain under doctrinal oversight and doctrinal accountability. We do not want to be an island. We want to continue to be underneath an umbrella of some oversight and accountability. Additionally, this new doctrinal statement reflects an intentional move away from defining what we do not believe and more succinctly focuses on what we do believe. And so you're going to notice that gone are the statements that say we are not ... or we do not believe ... And so what you're going to find is just a very much more focused statement on what it is that we do actually believe. The other elders and myself, we've carefully reviewed this document and are in agreement with it. We've actually been looking at it since this past October, and so it's something that we've mulled over, we've prayed over, we've spent time talking through, walking through, and at this point we are comfortable with and in agreement with moving forward in this direction. And so we're desiring to use the deacon development process to first roll this out to you as leaders, and then once the deacon process is complete, the plan is that we would roll it out more broadly to all of our members. And we want to be careful about how we do that. We want to give people an opportunity to kind of look at that and review it and ask questions and such. But the doctrinal statement is broken down into two sections. The first is the 5 doctrinal distinctives of the Acts 29 network and Two Pillars Church. And then the second section is a copy of the Lausanne Covenant Statement of Faith. And that is a general evangelical statement of faith put together by what's known as the Lausanne Congress, which is a worldwide congress within Christianity. And the chairing of the assembly of the Statement of Faith was done by John Stott, and this document in and of itself has proved to be one of the most widely used documents in modern church history. And so here's what we're asking you to do as deacon candidates. We want you to download that thing. Okay, we want you to review the first section pretty carefully. All right, so that's the 5 doctrinal distinctives of Acts 29 and Two Pillars Church. Read through that pretty carefully. The second section, that Lausanne Covenant Statement of Faith, you can read through that probably a little bit more quickly. I don't know that you're going to find anything in there that you disagree with. It's very broad, very generic, very evangelical, Christian. Everything's in there that you would expect to be in there. I don't see anything in there that you would not really expect to be in there. And so what we want you to do as candidates is download that, print it off, and mark it up. Mark on there whether you agree or disagree or in progress with each of the statements that is in that whole document. If you have questions about that, or if you have issues, I would love for you to put those into writing. And so as you read through that, as you work through that, if you've got issues with any of the statements that are in there, would you please put those in writing and send them to your deacon interviewer ahead of your deacon interview. And I'll get into interviews in just a second. Okay, but we want you to bring a copy of that doctrinal statement with you to the interview that's marked up agree, disagree, or in progress. And again, if you disagree or in progress with anything on there, please communicate to your deacon interviewer ahead of time, just so he can be ready to kind of address your concerns or your issues there. And so just as a reminder, as members, what we've always said is that you don't have to agree with every little thing. You do have to agree to not be divisive. Okay, but as deacons, as you move move one step further into formal church leadership, if you disagree with something on here, we very much want to know what that is. And at this point, we'll treat those kind of on a case-by-case basis. And if you're in progress, what we want to do is we want to deliberately help and walk with you in that. We want to get you out of being in progress, or at least walk alongside you while you're in progress. So print it off, mark it up, agree, disagree, or in progress. Bring that with you to your interview. Now, interviews, well, once you've submitted all of your assignments for the process, so that includes the Divine Design Project, if you needed to resubmit that, the Personal Spiritual History essay, the Leadership Strengths and Weaknesses essay, and the Spiritual Disciplines Now and Goals, that's one essay. Once you have submitted all of those, one of us as elders will be contacting you to schedule a time for an interview. And so we've divided you all up so that you'll be meeting with either Adam, Cheech, or myself for that interview. And there's a list below here on this post of who you will be interviewing with. So you'll know who should be contacting you in the coming week or two to schedule that. And then for the interview, if you're married, your spouse is welcome to come to that and be a part of that. At this point, we're also comfortable with that being optional if it doesn't work out for you. And so no need to bring kids if you have kids. I think that was in some of the original documentation that we put out. That's not necessary. And what we want to do is we want to try to get all the interviews done by May 10th. So to kind of summarize all of that, number one, submit your assignments to Natalie by today, preferably. Number two, download and work through that new doctrinal statement indicating agree, disagree, or in progress, and then bring that with you to your interview. If there's anything that you disagree with or in progress with, please let your deacon interviewer know at least a few days before that interview. And again, please do that in writing. It will serve us well and help us to really be able to address that. And then with the interviews, as soon as we get your assignments that you're sending to Natalie, Adam, Cheech, or myself will be in touch with you to schedule that interview before May 10th. And so I think that's it. Thank you so much for trekking with us through this process. If I've missed anything or if I've left anything unclear, please respond here and I'll work to clarify that. I love you all. You are greatly appreciated. I'm praying for each and every one of you today and just look forward to continuing this journey together. Thanks, guys.